I was nobody special when the galaxy first learned my name. At least, that's what I believed. I was a maintenance engineer on Outpost Helios 9, a forgotten refueling station drifting at the edge of mapped space. No flags. No diplomats. Just rusting hulls, flickering lights, and the endless hum of vacuum beyond the glass. My job was simple. Keep the station alive long enough for passing freighters to dock, refuel, and leave without remembering us. Most days, the only voices I heard were my own thoughts and the station's half-broken AI reminding me that oxygen filters needed replacement again. That's when she arrived. The first sign was the alarm, not the shrill panic of an attack warning, but the low, uncertain tone that meant something unfamiliar had entered our detection range. I wiped grease from my hands and checked the scanner. The ship wasn't registered. Its design didn't match any known Alliance blueprint. Smooth curves, dark silver plating that absorbed light rather than reflecting it. It drifted toward the station slowly, deliberately, like it wasn't afraid of anything we might do. Helios, 9 to unidentified vessel, I said into the calm. State your origin and purpose. There was a pause. Then a voice, soft, melodic, unmistakably alien, yet speaking perfect Terran standard. I am requesting permission to dock, she said. I have come a very long way, and I am looking for you. My stomach dropped. For me? I asked. Yes, she replied. Elias Carter. Human. Maintenance engineer. Born on Luna Colony. You are the reason I crossed the stars. I didn't know whether to laugh or run. She stepped onto the station minutes later, taller than me by a few inches, her posture calm and composed. Her skin shimmered faintly, like moonlight over water, and her eyes, too large, too expressive, studied me with an intensity that made my chest feel tight. I am Sarithiel of Averuin, she said, placing a hand over her chest in what I later learned was a sign of respect. And you saved my life. I stared at her. I've never left this station. You did, she said gently, in ways you do not yet understand. She followed me to the mess hall, ignoring the curious stares of the few crew members on duty. Once we were alone, she told me her story. Years ago, an Averuin diplomatic vessel was ambushed near the frontier. Its crew scattered in escape pods, hunted by pirates who valued alien captives more than cargo. One of those pods, hers, had drifted for weeks, its systems failing. Then a human distress beacon activated nearby. I remembered that beacon. A drifting wreck. No survivors. But I'd rerouted power from Helios 9 to boost the signal, extending its range far beyond protocol. I did it because I couldn't stand the idea of someone dying alone out there. I never knew if anyone found it, I said quietly. Sarithiel nodded. I did. Your signal guided me. I used it to navigate to safety. To survive. That was years ago, I said. People help each other all the time. She looked at me then, truly looked at me. Not across species lines. Not at the cost of their own resources. That act altered my fate and my world. The middle of the story unfolded slowly, like a truth too large to accept all at once. The Averuin were not a small people. They were ancient, advanced, cautious to the point of isolation. First contact with humanity had been tense. Humans were considered volatile, unpredictable, emotionally driven, dangerous. But Sarithiel had returned home carrying proof of a human who helped without reward, without recognition. At first, the High Conclave dismissed her. One life saved meant little against centuries of doctrine. Then she did something unheard of. She invoked the oath of witness, binding her life to the truth of her experience. If she lied, she would lose everything: status, memory, even identity. She believed in me more than her own leaders, I realized aloud. She believed in humanity. Sarithiel corrected softly. Because of you. Over time, her testimony changed minds. Trade routes opened. Borders softened. And when extremist factions within Avaroan society tried to shut the door again, when they demanded that Sarithiel recant or face exile, she made her choice. She left. Alone. She crossed uncharted space in a single-vessel journey that should have killed her twice over. She defied her people, her world, and her future because the symbol of hope she carried needed to be completed.
You, she said.
I needed you to stand with me, to show them the human behind the signal. I felt dizzy. I'm not a diplomat, I said. I'm not a soldier. I fix broken air recyclers. She smiled, an expression warmer than any I'd seen from her species. Exactly. The conflict came faster than either of us expected. Avaroan security fleets arrived at Helios 9 days later, demanding Sarithiel's return. They accuse her of treason, of contaminating galactic politics with sentiment. They ignored me entirely until I stepped forward. I spoke not as a hero, but as myself. I told them about loneliness on the edge of space, about choosing kindness because the alternative was emptiness, about believing that help given freely mattered, even if no one ever knew. I didn't realize I was shaking until Sarithiel took my hand. The station crew watched in silence. The alien delegation argued among themselves. And somewhere between my words and my fear, something shifted. The Avaroans did not apologize. But they listened. That was enough. The ending did not come with fanfare or medals. Sarithiel was allowed to remain as an envoy, unofficial, unranked, but acknowledged. A bridge between worlds, not built by treaties, but by trust. And I was given a choice. Return to Earth where my name suddenly meant something, or stay on Helios 9, rebuilding it into something new. I chose to stay, because some journeys don't end where they begin. Months later, as we stood together watching ships from a dozen species dock peacefully at the station, Sarithiel asked me a question. Do you regret that signal? She asked. The one that started all of this? I thought of the empty nights, the silence, the belief that nothing I did mattered. Then I looked at her. No, I said. It was the first time I felt like I belonged to the galaxy. She leaned her head against my shoulder, a small, intimate gesture that meant everything. I crossed the stars for one human, she whispered, and found a future for 2 worlds. Out here, at the edge of space, I was still just a maintenance engineer. But sometimes, that's all the galaxy needs. Someone willing to answer a signal, and someone brave enough to follow it across the stars.